Hi there everyone, this is Scott. Welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100. I do the Thursday videos on this channel, and this week our theme is Richard Gere. Richard Gere is an actor who's worked with Francis Ford Coppola a couple times in the 80s, and since then he's gone to appear mostly in dramas, but he's also a great musical talent. He was in Chicago, Best Picture winner. He was great in that movie. I haven't seen any Richard Gere movies recently, so I thought I'd talk about a couple of them that I like. First of all, Chicago, really fun picture, great songs. He's really good in it. It's also got Catherine Zeta-Jones and Renee Zellweger and John C. Reilly and a few other people in it. All about two women basically in prison for murder. They're awaiting trial. Richard Gere is the lawyer whose style will win the case more so than actual evidence or innocence for that matter. A lot of fun movie, really fun. There's another great one called Primal Fear, which came out in 1996. Oh, by the way, Chicago's directed by Roth Marshall, who did Into the Woods and Nine, a couple other musicals. Primal Fear is directed by Gregory Hoblit, who went on to do Fallen with Denzel Washington and the movie Frequency with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. Primal Fear is set in Chicago, and Richard Gere is a defense attorney in Chicago, one of the most prominent and wealthiest and most notorious defense attorneys, wins a lot, and he takes a pro bono case defending this teenager who's been accused of murdering the Archbishop of Chicago in a most brutal fashion. The kid, of course, is played by Edward Norton, his first big movie role. He got an Oscar nomination for it. Richard Gere is really good as well. I really like him a lot in the movie. Laura Linney, he co-starred with her in another film later called Mothman Prophecies, which is kind of interesting, but I love Primal Fear. It has great twists. There's lots and lots of good actors. Alfred Woodard is a judge. John Mahoney is in it. You've got Frances McDormand as a psychiatrist. Really great cast. It's just an excellent movie with some really great surprises in it. Hopefully they haven't been spoiled for you yet. If you haven't seen the movie, you definitely want to take a look at it. Arbitrage, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that badly, Arbitrage, maybe. I can't remember who the director of this is. This is something that came out much more recently. He's a businessman, Richard Gere is a businessman who is having an affair with a younger woman who's played by Letitia Costa, the French model, and they get into a car accident and she's killed, and he knows that the news of this relationship is going to ruin his reputation because he's putting together this business deal in a few days, and so he leaves the scene without reporting it to the police, calls a friend to pick him up. And the rest of the movie is him trying to avoid being detected and avoid, a suspicion falling on him. Of course, the detective played by Tim Roth is immediately suspicious of him because he's got, a gouge on his eyebrow and everything like that. There's signs that he's been in an accident, but he's trying to put together the evidence, and Richard Gere is trying to squirm his way out of suspicion. It's a really good movie. I wish I could remember who the director was. Sorry. Brit, what's her name? I keep wanting to say Brit Robertson, but that's not her. There's an actress named Brit Marling, right, sorry, Brit Marling, who plays his daughter, and she's also works for him at his company as well, and she becomes suspicious as well. I think Susan Sarandon plays his wife, I'm not really sure. Anyway, Brit Marling is someone who was in a lot of movies during that period when the movie came out. I think it was like maybe 2002 or 3, something like that. No, it was a little bit more recent than that. Anyway, I haven't seen much of her recently. I don't know what's going on with her, but she was in this Robert Redford movie called The Company You Keep. She was just getting a lot of big supporting roles at the time, but now I haven't seen that much from her. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. She was in The East as well with Ellen Page and Alexander Skarsgård. Anyway, Arbitrage is a pretty good movie, and one more that I wanted to recommend is called Sommersby, which came out earlier, 1993. This is a movie which is set, I think, after the Civil War, and Richard Gere plays a man who comes back to his hometown after being away for a long time. He was in a Union prison, I think, and his wife, played by Jodie Foster, welcomes him back, but he's been gone a long time, and people just feel like he's acting differently, and there's some suspicion that falls on him that he may not be who he says he is, that he might look like the man who was married to Jodie Foster and left for the war, but he may not be that actual guy. It might be somebody else who's impersonating him. We don't know. So that becomes interesting. That's a pretty good movie. It's directed by John Emile, who did Entrapment, with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and also a Copycat with Holly Hunter and Sigourney Weaver. That's a movie that I didn't really like as much at the time, because it came out the year as Seven, and it was another serial killer movie, which wasn't as good as Seven, but in the years since I've grown to appreciate it more. So yeah, those are 4 really decent movies with Richard Gere. If you haven't seen any of them, those I definitely recommend. Thanks very much for watching. Please visit our Facebook page. We have a new theme every week, either a new actor, director, genre, what have you, and you can suggest them if you like. We also have an Instagram page if you want to take a look at that as well. The links to both of those are below. Please subscribe if you haven't to, and stay tuned next week for a new theme. Thanks very much for watching. Later.